welcome back to T-Shirt Driving as we start a whole new series with a bunch of different cars, as I'd like to introduce our 2002 Jeep Wrangler.
Hoodless.
Here we are doing not the first mod, as I've already had it for a month. We are going to be installing some hood louvers, as you can see behind me, and the Swiss cheese and grinding involved. So the first step after you've removed the hood, removed all the accessories, and cut out the template, is we are going to center punch in the template where it's marked off. So as you can see from the camera's perspective right now, that it is being held in by the hood stops. We've got our painter's tape there, and you're gonna put your center punch right in the center of the little hashtags or hash marks and give it a good whack. Not too hard, obviously, because you don't want to dent the hood. You just want to mark where you're going to be drilling. When you're all done cutting your holes, you have your best friend do the dirty work.
I feel like a Ghostbuster.
There we go. Not so bad. So after you're done filing or deburring all the edges that you just cut, make sure you have some sort of paint. In this case we're using touch-up paint to cover up all the edges. Some of the paint peeled a little bit, but it's all going to get covered up anyways. We're just going to cover it up with touch-up paint, and then we get to drill some holes and mount this hood vent. So progress is happening. Alright guys, so we are in the Jeep this time. We've got the hood vents installed. They've been running wonderful since installation. And something you guys didn't also see was we upgraded the cooling system, changed to a lower thermometer thermostat, and changed all the coolant lines. So right now, to continue with the Jeep thing, because obviously I've been in a Jeep. Those of you that follow me on Instagram have been seeing that I've been posting a lot of things about the Jeep. You know, I've been enjoying the off-road adventures. So right now, I am beginning my journey from San Diego, California, and I'm on a road trip by myself, and we are going, I'm taking you guys with me, so that's why I say we are going to Detroit, Michigan, tunnel, and we're gonna go pick up my engine. Yep, my Fiesta ST engine. So, let's go do that.
I want you to show me how to get to know someone like you, someone like you. I want you to know me, 'cause I know then you'll see we can be true, we can be true. I want you to see what I see in us.
Good morning everyone, this is day 2 of our road adventure. I've made it into Utah. I'm pretty far in here. I'm like 90 miles away from the 70 highway or freeway, whichever it is, interstate. Last night, drove through Vegas. It was so hot and humid and raining. It was like 90 degrees at midnight. So I continued driving for another 2 hours, crashed out at a truck stop. This is the first rest stop that I have seen since before entering Vegas. So I freshened up a little bit, changed some shirts, clothes, blah, 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 brushed the teeth up. I'm looking to find breakfast next, so we're off Today's destination is Colorado, Pikes Peak. That's where I want to end up at the end of the day. There I do actually plan on camping out, so I'm looking forward to that. But the following day, I'm going to get a hotel because, you know, there's only so many days you can camp out, right, without taking a shower. All right, continuing on. All right, I've got breakfast now and a full tank of gas, Jack in the Box. And I wanted to show you guys, because when I got off the freeway, I've never, in America, driven on the left side of the road, but I want to show you this really funky intersection. So I thought it was something interesting. Here we go. So to go straight, as you can see, you have to go to the left side of the road. It did it on the off-ramp too. It's very weird. Look at that. I don't understand Utah. Just gotta make things complicated. Anyways now, let's continue our road trip. I've got supposedly 10 hours according to the GPS of driving to top of Pikes Peak, so we'll see. We'll see. Again, goal is by sundown. So the speed limit is 80 right now in Utah. I'm going 75 uphill, and this semi is about to pass me. Wait for it. You'll probably see it now. Yeah. I don't even understand. In California, that's not okay. Yeah. 75 I'm going. And the speed limit's 80. And that just happened.
So real, something so real. I want you to see that this is a love that we both feel, that we both feel. And how will we ever know if the love will ever grow without trying, without trying? And how will we ever see if we are meant to be? It's terrifying, it's terrifying.
So disappointing. I don't get to go under the bridge, or not the bridge, the tunnel. I don't get to go in the tunnel. That's just disappointing.
We've both been there before. When a love shuts the door, it's a losing game. It's a losing game, but this time it's more than another love war. This ain't the same, this ain't the same. They say love heals all, it makes it all alright.
Day 3 and Colorado Springs. I was a little late last night to make it to Pikes Peak, to make it up to the top. They closed the gates 10 minutes right before I got there. After talking around too, I don't think camping up there was allowed. So I got a hotel last night, and I feel all refreshed. First thing today, we're going up Pikes Peak, and then we're gonna continue on towards our way to Michigan. So this is a big mountain. I can see it right now from my hotel. It's literally right in front of me. So it's, from what I read, it quote unquote takes over an hour to get up, but I'm assuming that's probably because there's speed limits and stuff, because it's only like 19 miles from the check-in when you have to pay $15 or something like that. So we'll see how it goes. We'll get some spectacular views. Day 3. So apparently I wasn't the only one thinking to come early to make it to the top right away. So if I have to be behind this many cars, let me show you if you could see all of them. But that building all the way over there is the entrance gate, so we've got maybe 15 cars in front of us. But yeah, if we have to be behind 15 cars on the way all up, variety, trucks, SUVs, vans. Then it's probably gonna take the full hour. That's okay. I might spend half a day here actually in Colorado. I forgot that I also want to go see the Cave of the Falls. No, Cave of the Winds. Wind of the Caves. Something like that. So, yup. We'll see how today goes. I've got supposedly 19 hours from the top of Pikes Peak to Michigan. So, I think I could do that in 2 days. I just have to be there Monday morning, like 9 o'clock, so there's no worries there. I'll make it. I'm making good time. So let me tell you a little bit about the Jeep. As we're going up Pikes Peak here in Colorado, it's a 2002 Jeep Wrangler. It is a sport, despite the hood saying it is a Rubicon. When I bought it, it already had the decals, and as nice as the paint is, when removing some stuff, the paint likes to come with it, so I decided it was best to just leave those decals on, so it's a little bit misleading. So it's got the Dana 35 in the rear and the Dana 30 in the front, open diffs, sport model. Things that I have done with it, it's been put on lift springs with the appropriate shock absorbers, 2.5-inch lift kit, Rugged Rigid I believe is the brand. I immediately changed out the wheels and tires. As when I first got it, it had giant 35s on 18 by 9 wheels, and those are just too big for the axle. So I got some smaller 16 by 8s and threw on, I want to say a 31-inch tire. 235, 75, 16 is the size that I got. Beautiful lake on the left. Then I have a Banks power exhaust muffler system. I've really enjoyed the tone of it. It's beautiful for off-roading with all the burbles on. Deceleration, wow, it is gorgeous up here. You probably could go camping. I don't know the whole details, but I got a day pass apparently to go to the top. Anyways, back to the Jeep. When I first got it, it was leaking like a banshee, or leaving its spot everywhere. So first things were all maintenance stuff. Change the valve cover, gasket, clean everything. The rear main seal, oil pan gasket in the same process. Then the rear diff was leaking out through the main pinion bearing and bushing, so that all got replaced as well by myself. The exhaust system had a hole in the muffler, so hence why I changed out the exhaust system. Changing the oil, all fluids, and the Jeep's been running wonderfully. The only thing I have kind of noticed on this road trip was, and I'm not sure if it's because of the elevation climbing, and I do understand that climbing in elevation you start losing power, but ever since starting to come up the mountain in the Nevada area and slowly, coming up, the Jeep every now and then feels like it's just super down on power, specifically going uphill, even downhill in the 5th and 4th gear. And then every now and then it'll come back. At first I thought, maybe I put some bad gas in the system, because it did happen right after I filled up just out of Vegas, and I was like, what just happened? So hopefully it's just the bad gas. If not, it's probably my cats are starting to get plugged, which I just want the Jeep to handle the trip and back, and then I can replace all that stuff.
My heart still feels the breaking, but you make my world so bright. It feels so right, it feels so right. And how will we ever feel that what we've got is real? There's no denying, there's no denying. And how will we ever see if we are meant to be? It's terrifying, it's terrifying. And how will we ever know if the love will ever grow without trying, without trying? And how will we ever see if we are meant to be? It's terrifying, it's terrifying. That we're meant to be. We are
time? 8:10, 7:10 San Diego time. Oh my goodness, that was just blissful, truly blissful. Even in the Jeep, just blissful. So let's go check out the other side. I'm blown away. No, this is an epic mountain. An epic mountain. I know this isn't the only mountain like this that has an amazing road, but they have people race up this once a year. That blows me away, especially seeing the drop-offs, the no guardrails, the turns. It's exciting. It's terrifying. I guess that's what makes that adrenaline rush so worth it. It's awesome to see. I gotta continue my journey. I'm gonna wait a little bit because there's probably people coming up the road the same way I did, because nobody's expecting anyone to come down yet. But yeah, it's just remarkable. And as it said, the sign said, this is America's mountain. Just gonna steal that from Pikes Peak. And let's continue on. Day 3 has an epic start. Morning. Today's day 4. California time, 4:15. Iowa time, 6:15. Oh, I slept at a rest stop. Drove a little over 10 hours last night. Yesterday I spent the first half of the day in Colorado. Went up Pikes Peak, went to Cape of the Winds like I said, and didn't take off until around 11ish. I finally called it quits at 10:30 Iowa time, and slept here in a parking lot rest stop. So today I've got a little over 8 hours left to get to Michigan for my destination. So I'm gonna make it there today, Sunday, and be able to get a hotel, or I might try Airbnb. I've never tried that before, so we'll see how that works. And yeah, it sucks sleeping on a car seat. It's not very comfortable, and the trucks never turn off. They constantly run, I think, for either their heater or their air conditioning or power or whatever, but they're constantly on, so it's never quiet. But yeah, here we go, day 4. Nebraska is pretty flat, lots of grass, lots of green. Iowa, right now we're in the middle of it. I saw a lot of windmills last night, so we'll see what else we see. I'm literally right in the middle of Iowa, so yay. Road trips by yourself, yay.
Come aboard this ship. We don't have to stay in this routine and die from boredom. Out, leaving friends and parents to their jobs. 9 to 5, a schedule full of touts. Let's take our days and just live them out. Life gets dark if you never visit Central Park. If you never see volcanoes spark. If you never raise a question mark. Try to bungee jump or use the ocean beach to make some love. Isn't that what it's
I'm one state away. I'm in Indiana now. One state away from Michigan. Oh, I'm almost there. I'm excited. Definitely during the day I've got more excitement to me, I would say, than in the morning. Without any coffee or anything. But yeah. This is the first bit of quote-unquote traffic that I've encountered on this entire trip. So I think it's funny that it's Sunday, 12:30 here, 1:30, I don't know what the time zone is. It's 10:30 San Diego time, so whatever that is in Indiana, I don't know what the time zone difference is, and I'm not looking at my phone while driving. So yeah, this is the first bit of traffic. almost there. So talk about the Jeep and how it's been doing on its journey here. Sorry, it's hot, no air conditioning, so if you hear the cars going by, my apologies. We're going slow enough where the wind shouldn't matter. The Jeep has been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. The power loss that I talked about earlier, we'll roll it up and down as we're going. The power loss that I talked about earlier, that was totally because of the elevation of how, and the inclines and the grades. So through Nebraska, Iowa, now Illinois, and now we're in Indiana, it's been performing like I totally remember. It might have been a mixture of a bad tank of gas and the elevation and stuff, but I have no issues with it. I have noticed with the cheaper fuel, that's like $2.20, you know, the 85 grade, whatever, my fuel economy sucks because of that. So when I use that stuff, I get like 14, 15 miles per gallon. And when I use the higher grade, like 88 octane or 87, like I'm normally, I get around the 18 mark. The best I've seen this whole trip has been 22, and I've seen that twice. Once was when I first left San Diego, and the second was when I was leaving Colorado Springs. I think that was mainly because it was most downhill. So overall, you know, it's doing pretty well. Through Nebraska, tons of trucks. Oh my God, it's truck just galore. Semi-trucks everywhere. I was drafting a semi-truck at 80 miles an hour and it was leaving me. It's ridiculous, like, yeah. All right, looks like traffic is over, so we'll continue on. It's getting warm in here and proceed to Michigan. I've got snacks. I want to show you what my life is right now. I am sandwiched between semis everywhere. Yeah. Still in traffic. Indiana. Woo! Here comes the semi to trap me on the other side again.
Take my hand and leave it all to luck. They'll never catch us if they don't look back. Girl, I promise you the fun won't.
Good morning, everybody. What is this? Day 5? I'm already here. I'm here in Troy, Michigan. I had my last hotel for this trip. I gotta go pick up my engine. I'm super excited. Holy crap, like I slept really well. I got in town at like 6 o'clock. Ate at Sonic's, came here to my hotel and just crashed. And now it's a little after, it's almost 10 o'clock and Michigan time. I slept. I just straight up slept. I was so exhausted. I'm like, I'm gonna milk it. It's my last hotel, you know, enjoy myself. So I don't know if I'll be doing any video of the process of, you know, seeing the engine when I walk in, just because, you know, with privacy and Russ and the whole Dead Hook Motorsports bankruptcy thing. So we'll see. At the very least, the engine will be back there. So next time you see my face in like 2 seconds, there'll be an engine with me. Well, I have an engine in the back of my car. It's wrapped and plastic bagged. You can't really see it, but it's back there. Trust me, it's back there. Some interesting things to say. Dead Hook Motorsports is going out of business. Russ is doing his best to finish all his projects. He's all by himself, and he's got his family. He's bankrupt. There's definitely no money and whatnot, but he's finishing his projects as he can go. He's doesn't live close to the shop, so it's not easy for him to get back over here. And eventually he plans on doing his tuning again for people. Cobb came and visited him a little while ago, not today obviously, and they let him keep his cob license and all that stuff, and just was checking up on him with the whole bankruptcy and stuff like that. So eventually, once he gets his feet back under himself, his tuning will be available for anybody that's interested in that. So there is some glimmer of hope, and that would help support him and whatnot, because this has been a fiasco, and he's truly a man of his word with trying to give people back what they put into it. And he's done his best with refunding people. For the few of you that haven't been refunded yet, let's say, I think there's two of you, I think, with the C39s that haven't been refunded. The reason for that is he literally has no more money, so that refund has to come from the bankruptcy bank as all that is processed through, so you have to wait a little bit to get your money back. During that process, everything is going to get sold. Russ doesn't get to sell it, the bank gets to sell it. That's a huge difference in bankruptcy, is he's not going to go out and be like, oh, I'm putting all this stuff up for sale. No, the bank is selling it, and they put it up for auction, I believe. And so whatever money the bank makes is how they help to cope for refunding all that money towards people. And there's a big paper trail too, so he can't just sell things on the side and, you know, try to make money that way. That's taboo against the law. So letting you all know that, relax, it's happening. You know, he's being open about it. Some of you are attacking, and anybody that is a supporter of him, apparently we're bad people, apparently. But just, it's all about being patient, and there's no instant gratification in life. And it's hard, you know, people work really hard for what they want, and sometimes you want to be successful in business, and it's really difficult. They say the first 5 years is the most difficult for anybody to start a business, and all you can do is, you know, support your local businesses aside from, you know, Dead Hook Motorsports, and, you know, see the quality of work that they do. See, you know, not everybody's perfect. You know, some companies make really great product but have bad customer service. Some companies have really good customer service and okay product. You really gotta, you know, pick your battles and stuff like that. And I know this has been a huge battle for a lot of you, and I'm very happy. This has been kind of planned for a while, is me coming up and having an adventure to come get this engine and whatnot. It's been done for months, and it's been sitting there waiting for me. So whenever I was telling you guys, you know, my engine's done, it has been done. So it was just a matter of me getting the time off work and coming up here and picking it all up and stuff. So I've got the engine in the back, my clutch and flywheel, my turbocharger, all my intake manifold, and we laid it down on the exhaust side, so that way I don't have to worry about it bouncing around and stuff like that, so it's not sticking up. Still gives me room to recline the seats and whatnot, and throw the nice plastic over it, so out of sight, out of mind. Don't have to worry about any theft, except for that giant box full of my intake manifold and turbo and stuff like that. So yeah, homeward bound, and you will see me putting an engine in. Actually, before that, you'll see me attaching a transmission, attaching the flywheel and clutch, and we'll see how much that weighs. Today is technically day 9. Last 2 days wedding stuff. Let's unpackage this engine. It's like it's Christmas. Now the reason why it's sideways is because it's going to make life easier, rather than putting on an engine stand, to install the clutch and flywheel. And right now I'm by myself until help comes, because it's super early in the morning, hence the lack of lighting.
I can feel your energy pulsating down my spine. Oh, oh. I am not the enemy. No need to run and hide. No, no.
Brand new engine. So I have to put the thermostat housing back in, clutch and flywheel, coolant lines, Looks like coil packs on the top. It almost looks like I'm missing something up here, like a cover or something. Probably in one of my boxes, hopefully. We'll see. Otherwise I have to order it. But yeah, everything's new. Everything is new. Last time we took off the stock flywheel, it weighed 25 pounds. Now I have a nice brand new aluminum spec flywheel with a stage 3 clutch. And let's see how much this sucker weighs. Definitely a lot lighter than what originally was on here. Oh, come on, scale. Having scale problems. Okay, let it reset. Air. Okay. 9.8 pounds. So that is 15 pounds lighter in rotational mass. That's amazing. 9 pounds, we'll say 10. That's pretty good, I would say. It's not super light. I've definitely seen a lot lighter. This thing is made wonderfully. Looks like it has the steel insert from what I'm used to. Fidanza does the same thing. It's got the ring gears for the starter. So we've got our ARP flywheel bolts right here. And we're going to use some Loctite and torque these down to 70 foot-pounds of torque.
But as the night draws near, we are animals of fear. Feel so cold inside my head. And as the sun comes up, we are always out of luck. There's no room for us here. It's a cold-blooded love. It's a cold-blooded love. It's a cold-blooded love. Helps us break each other's hearts. It's a cold-blooded love. It's a cold-blooded love. Helps us break each other's hearts. It's a cold-blooded love.
Clutch disc. You can't get it wrong. Flywheel side, obviously. So that's gonna go in right there. This is stage 3. You want the nipple side to be going in. Line this up. Just like that. That gets held in. That holds it so that way there's even space all the way around. This fits within the pilot bearing. And then we have our, let's see if I can do this. So there's these dowels all the way around too to help hold it in. So I've got to get it in a dowel and have the holes facing the correct orientation. That looks like the dowel holes. So let's all dowels are in. That is in, sandwiched. Nice to go. Next up, again, Loctite on these bolts. You don't want any of these coming out. It's a little drop of Loctite got on my finger. And it goes right in. This is a giant 12mm. Fits right in. You want it nice and snug and not do what I just did. Yeah. It'd also help if this was a little bit longer because I'm getting just the tip. Yeah, I won't be stripping it if I continue on anymore. But you want a nice deep one. Mine's in there. If it leaks, obviously I know where it's going to come from. So I think that's good enough. Next up, the thermostat housing, and all new seals and rubber gaskets are important to replace at this point. So it does in fact look like I found the cover I said I was missing and my coil packs. Makes sense because all the fuel injector lines are attached to it with the wiring harness, so that's why we took it off. So I'm gonna put those on, and then we get to put the intake manifold on, finish the coolant, tip the engine upright, install the turbo manifold, and then by then I should have help with attaching the transmission and putting it in the car. Motor mounts though, gotta remember motor mounts, and alternator, that too. Alternator can go on the car. Motor mounts though. So before attaching any of this, I gotta figure out the routing of my fuel injectors and plug them in. Click, 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 click. And then afterwards, this guy gets to line up. If I take these bolt off. I'm gonna wait on the coil packs because I think for the fuel line I might have to remove this again, but at least this protects it, so we'll see. Hopefully I could just slide that in and not need to, but coil packs are pretty easy to drop in. Alright, next up, intake manifold. Nice and clean.
lamentating, stagnating, not moving, nowhere flowing. Oxytocin, big game, big break. Feels like I might have to own it. Stay the same and I won't change until I know I can let go and live free of the self-inflicted introspective diet of this false shame, false pain, pure guilt. I'm not saying I can't breathe. I'm in flames. Build me up and watch me cave. And watch me cave. And watch me cave. And watch me cave.
Carefully.
Carefully as we can. It looks more or less like we're gonna have to lift and put in, and
What's the story?
there's a sliding. I'd like to slide this as
Careful.
close as possible.
All right.
You
know
wanna
what?
lift the back?
You know what? Hang on. Wrong size. That way we just have one we can just start with. Okay.
We got dowels to put it in as well.
Doesn't wanna...
Yeah, it's gotta wiggle its way in.
Oh,
like
there we
that.
go. There we go.
Get in that towel.
I'm holding it. Put
Good.
that. Put.
Oh,
Oh, I got it.
alright.
All right. Thread it in.
That went in smoothly. It's in the dowels.
And we're threaded. Okay. Is the wood there still?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna carefully let go. All right. Whew.
Woo.
I'll get it. I'll get it.
Transmission success.
Took 10 minutes of planning to figure out how we're gonna do it.
Now some of these you can definitely tell are much longer, so you can.
I think we should have put the turbo on last.
And watch me.
We're floating. Other way. Other way.
Other way. No, it's about good. Right now, just let's get it up in the air and figure out.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Let me make sure it's locked. Really good. All right. Stop. Ready? I got it. Don't worry. You should have it mounted on this and.
Ooh.
Oh, whew.
Oh.
Okay,
So before we put it in, we have some bolts down here to put in, the starter to put in. We can technically do the starter while it's in the car, but we definitely want the transmission bolts at least. Tighten these all up as it's in there, Loctiting everything. And also cleaning up the engine bay because it's a little dirty. It's gonna get a quick wipe down. You gotta watch the AC line because I can't see.
yeah.
Now, actually,
You know what? No, we have to put it in this way. We have to put it in transmission first. We have to put it transmission first and then turn it. So, here, I'll hold this. Alright, you hold this over. I think that's the best way to put it in.
oh, come towards me.
Here, towards you.
You're going in crooked, that's why. Hold up.
You good?
Give me a second. Stop. Okay. Good. Alright. We are officially touching the car. Can you jack it up more?
Nope. Wrong way.
Good. I just need a little bit more. Groucho?
Groucho? No.
Hold up. There we go.
You good?
Yep.
All right, hang on. I got AC line. Shit, this won't turn. This won't bend because of the bracket, because of how it's shaped. We gotta lower it. Oh, no, we just gotta take this off. No, let's just take this off. No, I don't want to risk bending it. We can just,
I see what you mean.
yeah, we can just take this off. That's fine.
Oh, my finger.
Dude, pull it out. We can just put it in last.
All right, so we've got to lower it. And like you said, yeah, we got to go around the AC line. Oh, it's scratch.
All right, I'm gonna lower it slowly. Okay. Clear?
Yep.
It's coming down. Whoop. My foot there.
I have an idea.
Last time you had an idea,
No, this one's going to work.
crack the piston.
Okay, stop. Let's take these off.
I told you.
That's my idea.
I told you that. You're like, oh, we'll just take this off. No.
So, engine's in with motor mounts. Now we're gonna do the serpentine belt with the alternator and AC. Then from there, we'll do the coolant lines, transmission, brackets for shift linkage, rear motor mounts, all that good stuff. And then recheck all the torques on everything, because it's always important to use Loctite and torque on everything. Brand new motor mounts, TurboTech Racing. One, yes, it got dinged up going in. Oh well, nobody's gonna see it anyways. Number two, yes, it's sitting by itself in the car.
With no assistance.
That's a feat right there.
And a lot of Loctite.
A lot of Loctite. So we've got kind of a problem. The motor mount is blocking the bolts from getting through. They're catching on the lip. So I've got to jack the engine up and remove the motor mount and put the tensioner back in. Robbie's going to go get lunch right now for us, while I do the dirty work.
I want you to show me how to get to know someone like you, someone like you. I want you to know me, 'cause I know then you'll see we could be true, we can be true. I want you to see what I see in us, something so real, something so real. I want you to see that this is a love that we both feel, that we both feel. And how will we ever know if the love will ever grow without trying, without trying? And how will we ever see if we are meant to be? It's terrifying, it's terrifying. It's a losing game, it's a losing game. But this time it's more than another lot of war. This ain't the same, this ain't the same.
Almost.
I'm letting go.
Let go.
Ow. God, that's why they make a tool for this.
I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, this is a little off.
I think once you start the car, it'll straighten itself
Yeah,
out.
because there's no grooves on that one anyways. As long as it's on the grooves on everything else, that is in.
Ow.
Now we can do the motor mount. There we go. So the next step with this complicated puzzle is the coolant lines. I have all silicone coolant lines for all the smaller lines, Mishimoto radiator hoses for the giant ones. I went ahead and connected the shift linkage bracket, the rear motor mount, coil packs are now installed, fuel lines installed, just pushes right in. We're making progress, So this will be a fun one, probably time lapse. There'll probably be a lot of like, where's this go, where's that go kind of moments. Yeah, it's been a while. Let's do this.
Keeps us alive when it's strong enough. Bombs light up the sky. This fear in your eyes, I'll be your armor. I remember yesterday, you and I were unafraid. You held my hand through the fire. We will fight and we will reign through the smoke and through the pain. We will be survivors. Like a sun to the stars, I'll be a satellite. Flames blaze in your heart, light a match, make a spark. We are dynamite. I remember yesterday, you and I were unafraid. You held my hand through the fire. We will fight and we will reign through the smoke and through the pain. We will be survivors. Ride or die.
Knock, knock.
What now?
Knock, knock.
What do you want?
Knock, knock.
What?
You're supposed to say who's there.
Yeah, what?
Eat mops.
Okay.
You're horrible at this, man. You work with kindergartners and preschoolers, and you can't fucking do jokes.
No. Can you hand me that big ass crescent wrench?
Where'd you put it?
It's probably in the toolbox.
No, it's right here. You gotta rename it that big ass crescent wrench. So are these car parts in the boxes?
What?
Are these car parts you ordered or what?
They're Jeep stuff. I told you already what it is.
What are they?
Oil.
Oh yeah, the oil. Sorry.
Alright. Can you do me a favor?
I'm here, aren't I?
Can you grab this from up here? From up top? This wire I'm feeding up. Just give me a second, let me put it through this so it doesn't burn. There we go.
Where am I putting it?
And the blue sensor up there. You're like,
Doesn't reach.
what do you mean it doesn't reach?
Doesn't reach.
It reaches.
Doesn't reach.
Pull. Fucking shit.
Dude, I'm not joking you.
So we're now at the point of just the finer things. Exhaust back, turbo back is all plugged in. Did notice there is a crack in my exhaust, so I gotta have that fixed once it's running and whatnot. But I'm gonna show you. Now, it doesn't look so pretty like a nice new motor. It looks like it's a wiry mess with all the wire connections in, all the coolant lines in. It's starting to look like it used to. All silicone hoses. We got to get clamps for these smaller ones, so we need 4 for these smaller guys. But everything's in. I've got my modified stock cat back there. We need to get a little bit more slack on that line. Everything is plugged in here. For some reason I've misplaced my screw for my blow-off valve, or the map sensor. So got to get one of those as well. And plug in the intake, radiator, intercooler, crash bar, bumper, battery cables, wash the damn thing.
Oh yeah, wash it.
Oh yeah, we need axles too and suspension to be reconnected because right now everything's kind of loose. So we're making good progress. This is probably definitely going to be a 2-dayer. But yeah, it's wonderful. The engine is in, holding itself. All the hard stuff has been pretty much done with figuring out the wiring and the coolant lines. Apparently the Europeans have 2 extra coolant lines, and it was driving us crazy. We're like, why do we have these 2 coolant lines? So we looked at everything that came off, and these were not found in that. So yeah, this one and this one, but everything's plugged in. So yeah.